Thank you for this incredible honor of speaking with you today. I wish we could celebrate your accomplishments in person. What a year. Graduates, I can only imagine how disappointing it's been for you to finish up your nursing degrees on Zoom, away from your classmates and your community. But you've shown tremendous resilience in adjusting to online learning and completing your clinicals. I offer the graduates of the University of Minnesota School of Nursing my heartfelt congratulations. What an honor. Parents and guardians, family, friends, faculty, and university members, thank you for your unconditional love for these graduates and for supporting them on their journey, especially during this very difficult year. Nurses, you're graduating at a time of increased visibility for our profession, a time when our country is starting to understand our many roles and responsibilities. Some of you have served on the front lines of the pandemic. All of you have seen videos or read stories of nurses during this pandemic, of nurses caring for patients when their families could not be in the room. Nurses have risked their lives to care for multiple critically ill patients all at once. They've updated family members about the status of their loved ones. They've used their own iPads to set up calls between patients and family members to say goodbye after their shifts had ended. They've stayed with their patients so they didn't die alone. They've worn photos of themselves around their necks so that their patients could see what they look like underneath all their PPE. This is your profession, and you follow in the footsteps of women and men who have dedicated their lives to service. In short, nurses have given their all and shown once again why we have been repeatedly ranked the most trusted profession. And in spite of the emotional toll that nurses have faced, 75% of nurses in an RWJF, my employer, Robert Wood Johnson Foundation sponsored survey, said they would recommend the profession to others. I'm not surprised. Make no doubt about it. You are part of an amazing profession where you will have the opportunity to impact others each time you start your shift. The New York Times columnist David Brooks wrote a wonderful op-ed several years ago. He makes a distinction between resume virtues and eulogy virtues. The resume virtues are the skills that each of you bring to the workforce and what you've spent your entire life, and especially your entire academic life, developing. The eulogy virtues are what people would say about you at your funeral, whether you were kind, brave, faithful, or capable of deep love. And I would add, capable of compassion. The eulogy virtues get to the core of who we are as people, but our culture and educational systems often spend more time teaching the skills we need for career success than the qualities that we need to radiate an inner light. Brooks notes that commencement speakers often describe life as an autonomous journey with instructions to follow, your passions. Instead, he argues that life is really about the communities we build and the relationships we develop. My advice to you is to build strong communities and to prioritize your relationships. My relationships and community are core to who I am. I was blessed to have been married for 37 years to my soulmate, Bob. He was in a bicycle accident 5 years ago and spent 10 days in the intensive care unit before he died as a quadriplegic. During that time, several nurses stood out for their compassion, including Kathy. Kathy placed her CD player next to Bob and inquired what kind of music he liked after touching his upper shoulder and face, the only places where Bob still had feeling. She moved him to one side so that I could lie next to him. And then she stayed way beyond her shift's end to be with me as the machines were turned off. Kathy made me feel that it was her honor and privilege to stay with me. She hugged me, she touched me, and I will never forget her. Compassion, a eulogy virtue. I learned from my husband's accident that the most important distinguishing feature of a nurse is his or her ability to make a human connection, a eulogy virtue. As a nurse, you get to touch another person's soul. It's a gift. I hope that you'll develop deep connections with your fellow nurses and with others, connections that you hold up in times of challenge and push you towards the common good. Develop unconditional loves in your life and commit to challenges that you can't complete in a single lifetime and advance without the help of others. Challenges such as confronting racism or addressing climate change, global poverty, or inequity. Do your part to uphold human dignity and embrace our right and responsibility to participate. Stand with those living in poverty, bridge divisions, and nurture our earth. Turn your career into a calling. Ask yourself, what is your life asking you to do? What are your deepest desires? How can you match your talents with the world's needs? Who are your people and whom will you serve? Now more than ever, we need to build a fairer and more just world. The COVID pandemic has shown that our world has great needs and grave injustices that we must right, and that meeting those needs and fighting those injustices must be nursing's North Star. While we are all interdependent, we have not experienced the pandemic equally. Black, Latino, Indigenous, Pacific Islander, and lower income populations have fared significantly worse. That's because they are less likely to have access to healthcare, the ability to work from home, and are more likely to live in homes and communities where social distancing is just simply impossible. We must say never again and commit to a more just future for everyone. The National Academy of Medicine last week released the Future of Nursing 2020-2030, charting a path to achieve health equity, a report that I've been working on for more than 2 years with an esteemed committee. This report gives nurses and our partners in healthcare and communities tools and support to make our country more just and healthy. Please go to the National Academy of Medicine website, read about the report, and see how you can get involved. It won't be easy. Our nation's injustices are built upon 400 years of slavery and segregation and systemic racism. No single profession, not even ours or sector, can dismantle these inequities. But nurses are perfectly positioned to join with other professions to give everyone a fair and just opportunity for health. As a nurse, you bring the gift of healing and understanding of all the factors that affect a person's health, where they live, learn, work, play, and worship. Indeed, nurses, you have a responsibility and an obligation by virtue of your education at the University of Minnesota to promote health and well-being, no matter where and how you practice. We won't get there in my lifetime, but many of us working together will lay the groundwork for creating a healthier, more just, and more compassionate America. Nelson Mandela, the late president of South Africa, once said, "We can change the world and make it a better place. It is in our hands to make a difference." I can't wait to see how you will use your nursing expertise to advance health equity and better our world. May your career be your calling, your core value, compassion, and your mission, justice. Thank you and congratulations.